right. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are listening to this live show. My name is Yogesh Patsala, and I'm today going to get on today's show. And thank you very much for being here on the show. It is a great pleasure to be here every Saturday, 2 p.m. UTC time, and it is honor for me to be here present today's show. And yeah, let's rock this show. All right, I hope my voice is okay. If anybody is live, please give me some live feedback so we make sure that we voice and everything is perfect. So let's get started. All right, so first of all, before we get started, just want to acknowledge everyone for being here, and also I want to acknowledge Mr. Sandeep. So it would be very great to have him here, but unfortunately he's not here at this moment. But it will be completely fine. Let's rock the show, everyone. All right. Okay, so the main agenda for today's show is what happened in the last week and what's going to happen next week. So that's the agenda of today's show. So, what happened? It was a very hectic and very much it was like a roller coaster. So the time, and there was a lot of challenges, the technical challenges, and there are so many things that went last week. So looking, it was by the team, the technical team, those people who are working on SCAI projects, maintaining the infrastructures, and also doing an active security monitoring. So it was very hectic weekdays, and there were a lot of work that was uh, going on in a background, where the team is continuously actively supervising the infrastructure of Sky ecosystem. So this was one of the key component that was being worked on. That's number one. Number two, there were a lot of ecosystem components development that's going on. As we talked about the last show, there are many components such as liquidity staking. There are many other projects that are being built, upgradation of Sky Army ecosystem and platform. So that is also going on in the background by the team. That's also very fascinating development that's happening. That's one thing. Another thing that is the upcoming exchange listing. There is a huge demand by the community for the upcoming next centralized exchange listing. So that's also undergoing. There are a lot of paperwork and there are many things that's happening. So that's, it takes some time to complete, but that is in progress. So I'm sure that the community members are really uh, anxious to get the news, what's going on and how this will going to happen. So that's also is one of the key aspects that's happening on the last week. And also at the same time, there is a lot of development at the AI side, because at, everybody knows what's the AI is a disrupting technology. So if you look at the all these the the entire market, like every industry that is being impacted by the artificial intelligence. So the AI is disrupting everywhere, and including the blockchain industry as a whole. So because of that, there is a lot of work. There is a lots of, I mean, tremendous amount of the efforts and the resources that's being put forth for the AI development at a whole. For example, if you look at the all these AI large language LLMs, all these things, they are pouring billions of dollars. Like the big players, they are pouring billions of dollars for the AI the development. Now there were Elon Musk interview that I was listening to, and he was saying that by 2030, the artificial intelligence will take over the human intelligence as a whole, which means there is nothing that AI can do that a human can do. So, I mean, the AI can do literally anything that the human intelligence or human brain can do cognitively. So very powerful development, and we are in the very, we are the generations, we are witnessing all this disruption. Now think about it. There are, all the human brain can do, the AI can do. How fascinating that will be. Now think about it, for the all the businesses, not only blockchain businesses, for all the brick and mortar businesses. Think about this, how, what level of automation can be possible. At the same time, the productivity can skyrocket, because think about it, there is a huge giant that's working 24/7 tirelessly. Now that giant, I'm referring to an AI, that giant basically has thousands of hands, has a thousands of eyes, and has a thousands of hairs. Think about it, the huge giant that are working for you 24/7. It's like uh, having 1000x productivity for your business, and the level of scale that the AI can generate, that's phenomenal. I mean, we are witnessing this change that was literally impossible to imagine few years ago. So if those people who agree on this, that the level of this development and what can we do right now, that was unimaginable 1 decade back. So, as a generation, we are going through a new transition of disruption, complete disruption. There are a lot of technological events that happened that disrupted the world, but AI is one of the, that's what's going to happen in our generation, one of the biggest technological disruptions. So that's what we are doing. All right, so coming back, so secure chain AI, the SCAI platform, also heavily the ecosystem component development and all kinds of things heavily uses the AI to increase the productivity, the quality of the service, and everything. I mean, think about it. This the AI software, AI bots, and everything that can work at our own just the thought. So if you just can just type or think or just say, they do it as fast as that. So that's what is happening right now, and we are very that as a team we're very proud to be part of this journey, technological journey. So that's a phenomenal. So these are the things that, guys, it's happening throughout the week, and it was a roller coaster journey, a lot of work. It was a hectic, as I said. Let me see if I can see some of the comments that I can address right now. All right, so basically you can just can think about this, or interact. So instead of just participate, active participation in a conversation, and let's see how we can create such a breakthrough projects moving forward. By the way, I remember, just I want to add something to this conversation. I remember the day when the journey was starting few years ago. Now it's over 2 years. I mean, that's phenomenal time that has been passed, and it is a journey. I mean, think about it. There were a lot of challenges and lots of opportunities, and the community development and community participation, and that was a fantastic and amazing journey that has been going on for over 2 years. Now think about it, the blockchain projects that runs more than 6 months, that is a success in current industry, right? But the projects running for a very long time, over 2 years of track record itself is a victory. Now, at the same time, when we also talk about what's going to happen next, is all about the vision that's the project is being founded upon. That is a democratic value. So decentralization and democratic is a fair system. It's open and transparent. So that's what the project is based on. All the principles that is based on all these things. So very fascinating about the vision, the community participation, very important. Without community, it is impossible. So having community support is always appreciated and respected. It's absolutely an honor to have a community worldwide, so all over the world. Like people are from Africa or from Asia to America, Europe, all over the place. So having the community build up like as a whole, as a one. So that is absolutely phenomenal. And give me one moment, please. So just I want to welcome Richie. Richie is here. Hi, Richie. It's great to be here
Hey
again.
everyone,
Thank you very much for being here. Do you want to say hello to community?
100%. Thanks for having me. You can all hear me
Yeah, yeah,
well,
yeah.
correctly?
It's loud and clear.
So, start. I was just listening to what you were saying before I got on here. I was on the sidelines, and you're right. The AI, when it comes to us being able to multiply our efforts, us being able to amplify our efforts, the ability for companies and organizations.
Right. I think your voice has been broken up. Would you like to address? Richie, I think your voice is not coming. Maybe you want to address that? Yeah, I think some technical troubles, but yeah, I mean, what the Richie was pointed out was pretty right.
Sorry about that. Internet's not the greatest here sometimes. So, like I was saying, you're able to now do the productivity of people with two or three pieces of tool and some of these resources you have that AI has opened up to us, that you are so much more productive as an institution, as a company, and you're able to build things that would have taken weeks and months in a matter of days. We've never been able to be so productive and amplify our efforts to the extent that we have. Amazing to see. And I like your only going to become better and better and better. The AI tools that we have access to and the tools in general feel like they're multiplying by the day, and the sources that they have and what we're able to do, compounding and compounding. Next few years, we're going to have tools that we have today. The abilities we'll have are going to be exponentially more than we have today as well. And as a result, we'll be able to build and code and develop at a much faster rate, which much smaller one of these teams. You're going to see productivity and innovation go through the roof, right? You're going to see things that were not able to be done in the past by 5, 6, 7 people. It would have took groups of 20, 30, 40, 50 people. And that's not companies when they start up. So when it comes to having an idea and bringing it to the people for them to use and run with, that is going to just be amplified, and you're going to see a lot of innovation come from that are dedicated but have a great next few years should be very interesting to the list of how we go down this road of that progression of that technology as well.
Definitely, yes, yes. So, yeah, you put it really well, Richie. Basically, I was recently been using couple of software AI tools for the development of different projects. But it is fascinating the way it is developing. Now, think about it, it's a huge social intelligence that's being developed. So, think it's like a huge giant. Someone is learning from every mistakes or every decisions that's coming into that huge consciousness, the huge intelligence. So the way it was solving problem, Richie, amazing. I mean, it's super fascinating. And looking forward for 5 years from now, I think that will be tremendous.
Yeah, I can agree. We're at the tip of the iceberg when it comes to AI. It's going to get exponentially better, and which is kind of scary because it's already so good already, and we can do so many things that seemed impossible 5 years. Uh, to now see this even grow more and become have a bigger and bigger database. Like imagine you had an idea and you can pull from any single over the world at a fraction of a second's notice AI has that, and then the ability to process that at rates that we could not as a human being. So this is just a tool that is your side assistant. I think everyone's going to have a personal assistant in the future that is an AI bot that is programmed every way, shape, form, give you any answer any questions that you would have in your emails, organize your and basically be your sidekick, your whatever you want to call it. That's easily attainable by the technology we have today. In a few years, that's going to get even better. Having my personal assistant in the future that um, holding all the records of everything I've ever done, able to refer to anything. I'm able to ask questions, consultation or meeting I've ever had, and pinpoint information, right? And that's obviously if we choose to go down that route. If you don't want to use that, then you don't. But if you want to utilize that tool, you can. If you'll be able to say, hey, what did we have meeting 5 months ago with said person? And it'll be a meeting, right? It does not make that mistake. It just refers to that it has collected over the years, over the time that it's been working as your assistant. Now, a personal assistant, it doesn't take days off. It's hired. It just keeps going and gets over time, which is kind of scary, but that's what's been going on and the path it's taking in the future. See what this ends up being, but already what it's become current standing time, it's already amplified more than I thought it would in the time AI and these AI tools, and that it's going to become even better and absurd. Honest with you, I look forward to it. I think this is a technology we have to really lean into and for strengths. Nothing's perfect, and it still requires us to use it. Right? It's not self activating at this point in time. One day it may be, but at this point, there's still a human intervention there. There's still human input. It's still build humans. So at the end of the day, it's coded and works the way we code it. So I get this, which is the risk factor, and when people are scared of new technology and hesitant to rely, it's all just human nature, right? At the end of the day, but the ability to amplify our efforts is so great that we're going to have, in my opinion, a world that is combined with AI, blockchain technology, 3D printing, and that is just the future of our society. It's too good of a tool not to use. There's too much of an advantage when we use it compared to those not using it, incorporate it into our day-to-day life. We just have to be that there is balance with this technology, like every other technology, so that we do not go too far down that rabbit hole, or it does not have too much access to that could be dangerous, right? So for personal assistance, for amplifying of efforts, for coding, for a lot of tasks we have in day-to-day life, AI can amplify and make that better. There's also that line that we have to be careful with, obviously. So, what's your opinion on that? What's your opinion on any of the flaws and or risks of AI, the benefits?
Yeah, definitely. So there are flaws and there are advantages, of course. The one you pointed out initially about the personal assistants, fantastic idea. I was one of recently I went into one event and I was interacting with a lot of entrepreneur business people, and what I was talking about very excitingly was creating an avatar. So that's the different version of what you already said. You said personal assistance. I would call a complete avatar. So it's like it's a Yogesh. It will create absolutely a different virtual Yogesh, which means whatever that I'm doing, my business, my interest, this and that, and everything, the AI knows it. And whatever the business task that I'm doing, or uh, team management or task management and finance and handling and marketing and communication and this and that, there are so many things, thousand things that people typical business person has to do. So think about it, all of that has been done by an AI. I was talking to a lot of people in an even recent event I'm talking about. I see there is a huge struggle by the business people where they cannot effectively manage their businesses because of various reasons. But what solution that I was talking with them is, what if you can take out yourself completely from your business and your avatar actually be there 24/7 doing your business, and also with scale, which means it doesn't have any limitations. No, they don't forget anything. They can analyze the data of uh, entire world, I would say, entire encyclopedia. So it's a huge greater version of a person's self who can do uh, way bigger and better and stronger than a person can do. So for the businesses, I would say the industry will completely transform. The way we do business right now, it will be completely obsolete. It will be totally at the new level. Of course, there are many industries that jobs will be affected because all these labors and this and that, all the administrative work and everything that will be impacted because all of that will be done by an AI. But at the same time, there will be new industry will be emerged. So of course, I mean, we have like how many 8 billion people in this planet. So I think there will be some industry will impact affect negatively, where other new industry will be created. So down the road.
And that comes with every technology, right? So at the end of the day, with every we've ever had, the evolution of going from horses to cars, industries were effective. People lost jobs and had to change and do different careers because you don't have a stable boy anymore. You don't have people that are cleaning the roads anymore the way it was when there was horses. So you always innovative technology comes in, changes the way that we progress as society, we society, and there's jobs affected to shift and different types of jobs in the future, and that will continue to happen with this as well. Some jobs will be obsolete so much more effectively than we as humans can, but other jobs will be opened up because of that as well. And what this will be, we will see over time. We'll have kind of uh, wait that as it happens. Have to kind of move with the punches on this one and see what the job opportunities that are coming out from this. For example, people that were never able to code application, for example, are now able to with something like vibe coding, right? It's a great example of you being able to do something that you want, but then away from someone else. So the person has to now adapt. Now, when it comes to app creation and development, that developer that already has the background, has the edge, he can verify those perfectly, and he can amplify his efforts by 10 or 20 times, in my opinion. He's able to now code a lot more efficiently because background and he understands how to code compared to the person that's just vibe coding. He has the advantage there. When it comes to like legal review of documents, a great example of this. Research papers, studies, creation of presentations. AI is so effective at doing these things that those industries, I think, will be disrupted. We'll need to, the people who are focused on the old way of doing some of these will have to shift and adapt. And maybe that means that they're doing the same thing, just a lot more on their side, right? And they'd have to charge less fees to do it in the future. But there's also one third the work because the AI can now for websites or presentations or review a document or come up with the structure of a patent and the writing of a patent. There's so much that can be done here that is kind of forced to use it. If you don't, you're kind of behind a little bit. So we'll see what in 10 years. I expect this can be very different than the we have today in many different aspects of a big role in that change. But at the end of the day, we are still in charge. We are still at the front of this, and people, humans still it is a tool at the end of the day. It does not work on its own. It can do tasks for, but it doesn't think independently for itself, right? We have to prompt it. We still have to ask it to make what our vision is. It's what we give the prompt to do and does the job, right? And it's not perfect, right? It's still not that point where I can say specific image generated with points exactly in this category and type of thing, and it gives me a perfect response. You still have trial and error. Will generate that same prompt over and over until you get something better, but never really perfect. And then the future might get better and better to the point where it can get very, very close to those that you're trying to achieve without uh, there, but we're not there yet. So it's not improvements that will happen and can happen to the extent that gets to, but it will be destructive, right? We know that. And I think that we're going to have to start looking into jobs affected by AI and or eliminated because it's much more to look for different areas to get involved in, different routes and different opportunities to, because that opportunity is no longer.
Definitely, definitely. And Richie, just I want to add to that. I want to add what whoever people that whoever the business people I have talked to about this and showed them the possibility of increasing their productivity by 10x, even 100x. They were exciting. I mean, whoever I spoke to did not resist listening to what I was saying.
No, because it's business is time and money. So if you don't have the resources to have 50 people working for you or someone on call 24/7 to actions for your customers, right? We're given the option to say, hey, I can answer every single aspect of your business, and it won't cost you thousands of dollars a month because you don't have the resources to have that right now because you're an entrepreneur, et cetera, et cetera. Their eyes light up because that is an asset to them, right? And if it costs you $100 even, it's a great trade-off. That ability to have a chat bot that you've programmed answers in the style that you want to, in the tone that you want to, has access to every single database about your company, how it works. So a customer or a community member can say, hey, how does this work? Respond. And if it needs to escalate, any member, it can also do that, right? That's invaluable to a company, right? We were never able to do some of these things that we're able to now and work as if we were 50 to 100% with a handful of people. Get better. The benefit to a company owner in the progress and the amount of amplification of effort it brings to the table, it's unheard of. That every company who does lean into this and use this for its strengths will unfortunately be at a disadvantage. Uh, I think most companies, if not all companies, will use AI in one shape or form. See to what scale that happens, and maybe one day we'll have AI completely run companies that's just prompted by one person, right? That, but I agree. I think that the pushback, it'll be more from the community members that don't want to talk to an AI bot when they call in for, but that over time people do it, and it'll be that like you can barely tell if it's an AI on the other side or not. So be a hurdle we get over, I think, and not to say that I don't want to have, I want to just like people to lose jobs or anything that I don't. But you know what? The way of life is not the way we want it sometimes. It's more the way things are. We have to come to terms with that. So certain people have to change. They have to pivot into the future, and because their job, their career has been disrupted.
Definitely, definitely. And you were talking about the if then AI is calling, so it will be even difficult to tell that it is a real human or it's AI calling. I was listening to one this type of call on internet. It was literally is appears as if a human being is calling for an appointment in some places. So it's a real human like human like voice and phenomenal.
Yeah, crazy. It's the amount of you having a talk to an AI and the timing of the response. It's not. It used to be there was a gap there. So hey, how are you? Well, how does this work? And then the AI would respond after a few
Okay.
seconds, this way, that way. But now it's getting so good that as soon as you ask the question, it's answering you so quickly that you can't identify if it's AI or not. There's no more lag. There's no more processing time that it needs. It's so quick. It's unreal.
Definitely, definitely. Um, uh, these kind of things, which is one of the way is. By the way, I have a real experience. As you said that some people might resist. They don't want to talk to a bot. They want to talk to a human being, but not a bot. I had that kind of experience. We had this kind of bot who were interacting with a customer in case the team were not online. So we got some of these kind of responses as well. That hey, I want to speak to the company directly and not the bot. So these kind of things can happen initially, but I think over the time, you said that the business runs 100% on an AI. That will be a dream. Think about it. The business owner is just lying on the beach and sipping their favorite juice or any soft drink, and at the same time business is running 24/7 autopilot. And think about it, how that could be, like everything is running on 24/7 on autopilot by an AI, right? So this is one of the greatest the innovation in terms of businesses and entrepreneurs and the lives of entrepreneurs. So I think that's a fantastic way that the technology is moving forward, and I think yeah, looking forward for this shift. Also, at the same time, Richie, you also talked about the what are the pitfalls and what could be the problems. So I also talked to our people, and they also raised some concern about the privacy because see, I have to tell everything about me and my business and everything to a software. Now, those people who are controlling somewhere in the way, controlling the software has those details or information, and maybe can be misused. So I think there is a privacy concern, and this kind of technological the control and restrictions and by the government and all kind of things that is necessary. I think a lot of the governments are doing policies about the use of and development and use of the AI systems, but at the same time the concerns are genuine, okay, because the main thing is the privacy concern, because then there is no privacy. The privacy will be myth because everything is in the hands of a public or maybe a software, and through software a public. So that's the one of the pitfall that as a industry that we have to tackle. But I think yeah, every technology has their plus and minus, like nuclear technology that has a huge plus but at the same time huge negative minus. So that's what we have to, these are the challenges that we have to tackle as a industry. But there are a lot of benefits that we are having right now, and the total addressable market is huge, like the TAM is huge. Because think about this, all these businesses in the whole world, they are using this technology some way or this way or that way, but they are using this technology and having a super productive, maybe like 5x, 10x, 100x, depending on type of business that you are running. So think about this kind of level of success and productivity that this technology can achieve to the businesses of all these entrepreneurs and business owners. So collectively it will be super efficient and super beneficial technology. At the same time, Rich, you also talked about the jobs for those people who are not into uh, they have to upgrade their skills and adopt the change. And yeah, all the technological disruption has that. So it that's what we are witnessing right now. It gives thrill, like it is very exciting time right now that we are in. um
The other side is like um, one of the kind of downfalls and or risks we have centralized softwares hosted by a company, and they collect that data, and we don't know if they'll ever use that for malicious reasons, etc. In theory, but they always say that until they do. In the future, I do believe that decentralized, where we be able to run our own AI from our computers as they get more and more efficient, and computers get better and better, that locally, and then give access to that AI to our community members and to our core members of the team, etc. Our own data as well. Take advantage of the large LLM model, run it off our own computers. You have that sweet spot where these AI models and the that you can do with AI while running it locally, and that data not being added to that model of a public company, but added to the model of your own privately run AI, right? That is what future with Eva, Evolve Virtual Assistant, where she um, run the database of everything to do with Evolve blockchain and Evolve Health. So we're able to have chatbots and everything else while still keeping that internal when it comes to the data that is shared with and access to of the company's personal data and our employee personal data. Because there is that risk factor of a rogue company taking that data, selling to other people, because there's a lot of money in data, right? It's always been that way, and it will just amplify and mine into the future. So that's one way that we can kind of suppress some of that risk, is having the ability to not share some of that personal or private data with big companies. Happen databases are hacked all the time. If there's a way to decentralize AI even more than it is now, and make it where it's, of course, verifiable to everyone how that AI has been coded, model, so that it can be seen how it's going to react and all of that, verify all that. That's another way that we can kind of get around some of these hurdles. Worldwide AI, right? Yeah, there's a few different ways we can go with this, and hopefully the best result of this. There's no perfect solution, but what we same thing with blockchain technology. Which blockchain you choose to use and why you're using it is really important. Pros and cons to it. Some are fast, some are slow, some are more secure than others. Some are store of wealth. Some are really cheap, right? What you choose to use is critically important to your success of your project and your company. So same here, which AI you use, what company runs that AI, or if you run it locally instead of by a company that does take your data and does store that data to build their LLMs in the future. These are all important decisions you as a company and you as personally using to use these tools. So make sure you do research what you're using, who owns it, how they operate, and some of the risks that you have associated, not just in AI, but in blockchain tech and everything else as well. So the community you're part of and who you decide to build on top of, whether you build on top of SCAI or Evolve or Ethereum, it's an important decision you make before you launch a token, before you start a community, that the results of that decision you might not see in the first few months of you using that network, for example. But if you become massive, have millions and millions of transactions, and now you have a scaling problem, or you have some other problem in result of your decision earlier, like AI, or you choose what AI you're using, whether that's T or DeepSeek or Grok or any of these big models, or you host it locally, right? So let's I'm excited to see the progression of this technology, AI kind of merge in the future, along with other technologies like 3D printing. Um, we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Yep, definitely. So, whatever you have said is absolutely, I mean, whatever that we are witnessing right now and the technology that is taking us, that is absolutely fantastic. And let's see where this, what's the future unfolds for us. But what's very important is it will be beneficial as long as the way we use the technological shift. All right, Richie, I thank you. And let's take some of the questions from chat. So let's have some conversation interactive. So Kirito, thank you very much for sending your message. For you being a very loyal community member since a very long time. So appreciate your participation. So you are saying as the SUI did not natively store Bitcoin instead onboarded TBTC, a decentralized Bitcoin bridge, which then unlock BTC liquidity inside SUI native DeFi protocols. Is it not possible to do it with Sky Network? Definitely. So if SUI can do it, technically anyone can do it. So definitely the mechanism that works, the interoperability, what you are saying actually is interoperability between multiple blockchains. So this is also one of uh, the the research that's continuously going on in this area, how one blockchain can interact with another through a decentralized way, because there are a lot of centralized bridges and all kind of things already available, but how that can be possible via decentralized way. So that's the matter of a lot of research, and a lot of work has been already being done in this area by various industry players. Okay, so that's already going on, and hopefully we will have a solution in future where as Richie was talking about, the AI can be decentralized. Now at the moment it's a centralized, but how that can be decentralized, maybe through different technologies such as quantum computing or whatever, who has a lot of computing power that can decentralize entire kind of systems. So there is a lot of possibilities of new technological, and we hopefully will see how the technological advancement is going on. So that's my take for this question. Another one is coming from Michael Esma. Thank you very much for your message. What you are saying is not sure, but subjects to be corrected why Africa is lagging behind. And if that is the case, why industry does not capitalize on the challenges faced by the Africa? Okay, Africa is one of the richest in terms of natural resources, and it's a huge potential market uh, of the upcoming times. For example, if you look at the what happened in the history, the Europe was at one time was a huge market. Then America. Now there is a shift in Asia, especially India, China, and this type of countries. They are taking over. So after sometimes, who will be the next? The Africa, definitely. So there is a lot of development, and there are lots of entrepreneurs, even blockchain entrepreneurs that they are coming out of Africa. Even Sky community initially was built by African community, so there was a lot of African members of were there in a Sky ecosystem. So I see a lot of movement in terms of technology and in terms of education, and this kind of things is happening. And there is a lot of hope in upcoming future where these continents develop itself into a huge market, and also in terms of technological leader, because of course it has a lot of natural and many other resources. Okay, so there is a huge potential. So mhm.
Africa. So right now in the world, Africa and African countries are the biggest year-over-year growth when it comes to GDP and tech, like advances. So I think here in the world of the ability to unbank, bank the unbanked technologies, it's a lot harder for a country that's already established, a country that already has all these things in change with new technology. It's a lot easier for a country that does not have um, technology, prior technologies so incorporated into their day-to-day life to pivot than it is for one that already has all these systems in place, disrupted and changed. So I think Africa, and I know for a fact there's many companies we've talked to and we're working with that are planning to build and give access to banking, blockchain-based banking type services, DeFi, to Africa, solutions coming to Africa. I think there's many thousands and thousands, if not millions of people and companies working right now as we speak to bring solutions into Africa, in that country. Um, so you're right, the there, and we're going to see a completely continent in the next 10 years. And I believe that they're going to become a powerhouse in the world. I think they're going to grow to a point where think of Africa as some people think certain parts of Africa is like a third. It's going to be the hub here is, and I think that a lot of people realize this. Businesses and institutions have realized funding and liquidity that is pouring into Africa right now as we speak. It's amazing. It's unheard of. And we're going to see opportunities come out of that region of the world. Um, so we'll see. Africa is definitely a place that we want to have Evolve Health incorporated in, because I believe it's one of the biggest opportunities for Evolve Health to really go footprint in this world and give anywhere in the world, not just Africa, to manage medical records and give access to doctors and access to the traditional systems we have now in a decentralized. We can do something pretty amazing in Africa. Do not much resistance from the governments in these smaller countries. But so far, I believe there's not a resistance, but a wanting for this technology and be able to as much as we possibly can that continent. So we'll see what comes out of there, but I'm very optimistic about the future of that continent, to say the least. I think we're going to see a 10x or 20x recognized years from now from what it will be with the actual implementation of like AI, like decentralized blockchains, DeFi, and the rest. It's a perfect proving technologies. It's a perfect way to showcase just achieve when we incorporate some of these technologies, so that most people in Africa, people that know have cell phones but don't have bank accounts, right? It's one of the biggest unbanked parts of the world, populations in the world, rich parts of the world. So there's so much room for improvement, room for growth. And I know for a fact a lot of the big money is heading to Africa. So we will be active as much as we can be in that region of the world. And hopefully Equal Health will have a good footprint in this continent as well, the strength of our systems. So it's a big one. I completely agree with that, the comment.
Definitely, definitely. There will be in upcoming decade. There will be a rush from all over the world. People
Yes.
are heading towards Africa. Definitely.
That's history, right? It goes from, we've seen it with the British Empire and the American Empire, and then always stays on top forever, right? This shifts, it changes, it diminishes. Some lead and then they follow, and then others lead, and it's just the way humanity works, right? See, I believe Africa will be a big player in the next 10 years or less. And that we'll see how big they become, right? Right now, you see like BRICS and everything else becoming a leader, becoming that big player as we speak, because of all the BRICS nations coming together to build that currency. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of all this and who in the world when it comes to currencies and growth, but we'll have to stay on top of this and see how this develops in.
Definitely, definitely. So there is no empire can stay up longer. So there is a rise and fall of all these empires and economies and powers and all kind of things. That's the it's the history of humanity. So yeah, I think what's happening right now. You talked about the BRICS, so that's also one of the key development happening right now, because of course there are many geopolitical politicals and this kind of things. So yeah, coming to this comment, the Africa is definitely going to be the next big thing that people and everyone will be moving towards. So a lot of hope we will be here witnessing that, I think. In
Yep. Hopefully, we'll be at the frontier of that as well.
Definitely.
Helping to bring some solutions, not just Africa, but around the world, in a way that we can live a more decentralized life where governments and the ability to cut off our financial services just happen all over the world. For those who don't know, I'm from Canada. Cases where they've shut off people's bank accounts and for political reasons and the rest, and that's unheard of. That should not be even a ability should not be there for a country or institution to do that to anyone, right? That's your goods. That's how you feed your kids, a roof over your head. So the technology we have, tips, centralized blockchains, AI, 3D printing, and a few others, a world that is more geared towards the us to live in a life that cannot be affected by others in the way that it's being affected, which is the dangerous side also is, right, central bank digital currencies that are controlled completely by governments and manipulated even more than what's done already, aspects as well. So that's where you give your attention, spend your money that has value, that has the ability to change. So making sure that we choose the right solutions and the right block AI when we grow our innovation, we expand is extremely important, because wrong choices in the next few years, we can go into a more dystopian future. We can go into a more centralized future, opposite, and have a fruitful, decentralized access to medical records, NFI, finance options and opportunities, literally anywhere you have an internet connection. The globe now it have a stable internet connection, and that'll expand in the future. Um, it's going to be a whole time for humanity. That's maybe 5 years, where we see what the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years are going to be with the decisions we make in the next. So everyone needs to do research. Everyone needs to pick and choose wisely which tools they use and why, right? So that we do have a better future for everyone, and not just kind of pigeonholes us in a worse future for generations after us, right? We want to leave this planet better than we had it given to us, and we want to make it where people have more opportunities, not less opportunities, and more ability to be. We no longer have to trust each other with finance. Blockchain was a paradigm shift when it comes to the ability for us to communicate and transact each other without having to have that. My bank has that funds, and when I send world, that my bank does that in a way that doesn't have mistakes. But we see it all the time. Mistakes are made, and it's not a perfect, better system already. We have something technology-wise that is more efficient, more trustless. There's no reason we shouldn't use it. It may be affecting the status quo. People that have the control of it now losing some control. So I do see that happening. I do see us going towards that decentralized future. Hence why we are innovating in this part of the world and in this sector, right? And we believe that blockchain technology with AI and a few other innovative technologies is the way of the future to some of our problems that we have have in our day-to-day life. So we'll see what comes out of that. Everyone needs to stay on your toes and make sure that you choose the technologies you believe are your business, your innovation, your ideas. So yeah, that's the next steps. That's the key part that we'll have as society in the next few years of what we choose and where we go with this technology and why.
Definitely, definitely. So you put it really well, Richie. What we are having seen right now as a society and even as a generation that we are witnessing, it's a phenomenal. All right, I think we are at the end of our session. So just want to have a brief about what we already talked about is the technological edge that's happening, technological shifts, the paradigm shifts that are happening all over the place, all over the world, about the AI and the quantum, the tech computing, and also the decentralizations and everything. So that's what was the topic of today's show. I hope it would give a lot of value to the listener. And I just acknowledge all these people who are listening to this show live, and also acknowledge those people who will be listening to this replay afterwards. So really acknowledging and appreciating for all these community members be part of the project. And also special thanks to Richie for being here and contributing into the conversation. So really appreciate his ongoingly contribution to the project and to the community, sharing his wisdom and knowledge to help overall moving the industry and moving the projects and everything moving forward. So thank you everyone. Richie, see you on next show. We wish you very successful and very productive week ahead. Thank you.
100%. Thanks for having me. The community, thanks for showing up and asking the questions and being curious, right? Like, ask today. This is a growth and a journey. Some are joining later than others. Some have been here for a long time. Innovative technology, we're seeing it grow in front of our eyes, right? We're in real time, go through its paces and have mistakes and develop and get better and better and better. So do your research, right? Scary if you don't understand how it works. It's like everything else, but make sure that you do your due diligence, understand the technology about it, right? That's what makes it realize the strengths of it and the possible and why this is the future. In my so great show, the great topics that we've covered. It's very useful for the users in the community to understand these concepts and to stay going with it and why that's happening that way. Thanks again for having me on the show. It's always a great conversation, and I look forward to next
All
show.
right, definitely 100%. And thank you very much. Much appreciated. And yep, everyone, see you on next show. Take care. Bye bye.